The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
This week's episode of PSVG Prime is brought to you by our amazing Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/PSVG. Huge thank you to our producers, Coach Hulk, Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh Braboni, Chris M., Devin Tyus, Paul Calicote, Kyle Heyman, and Benny Liu. Thank you all for your support and love. You know, it gives me the warms and fuzzies. And a big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, of course. Each month you get exclusive episodes of PSVG DLC and just how crazy Donnie really is. You get the semi-weekly, bi-weekly, I don't know how it's really going to work, but Kevin Hates Everything updates. You got 2 out there already, as well as being entered into our monthly giveaway, which we will announce at the end of this episode. Current offerings in the snazzy PSVG swag bag are the PSVG Black Polo, $20 in Apex Legends credits, or $20 to the eShop of your choosing. This month's giveaway was sponsored by PSXP, hence the Apex credits being added. And Nintendo Shack is sponsoring next month, so tune into their show to find out what they are adding after this month. But to get in on all the action and to help support us, head on over to patreon.com/PSVG. And now, onto this week's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of PSVG Prime, the flagship show of the PSVG Podcast Network and the only gaming podcast crazy enough to do an open mic night. It is I, your host, Kevin, and with me this week, filling in once again because he's super available and awesome, and we're on the same time zone, so it makes life easy for everybody. Josh, how are we doing, sir?
I am tired. It's been a long day, but I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here, as always.
Good. Yeah, tired. I'm familiar with that concept there. So yeah, as I said, it's open mic night, so this is interesting. The only people plan to be here are Josh and myself, but there may be other cast members jumping in and out. We don't really know how this is going to work, but we just have it out there, so just be prepared for chaos if it comes in. But let's start this episode, as we do every episode, with a little bit about what we've been playing. Josh, why don't you go first, sir?
Okay, I would be happy to. So I've been playing, Steamworld Dig 2. Actually, I played it as part of a review for Backlog Busters, which was nice of Grouchy to send me a code for that when I was talking about considering buying it. And yeah, I mean, I know it's an older game, but I just recently played Steamworld Dig because it was free with my eShop coins that I didn't really know I had. I was just planning on paying $2 for it. But I really enjoyed the first one, so I wanted to jump into this one. And it started off, I thought it might have been too much. It was much, much bigger of a game.
Yep.
And, you know, one of the things I liked about Steamworld Dig was it was short, to the point, and fun. So Steamworld Dig 2 started off and it was huge. Like, everything's bigger. The map is gigantic and there's all these new like tools and there's all these different people to talk to. I think there was like 4 people to talk to in Steamworld Dig. And now there was like 40 people to talk to in this game. But I warmed up to it, and it was a great game. It was really fun. Also, like, relatively easy, but you know, like a nice, fun exploration game. I do like that. Well, I kind of like and don't like that it had like one boss. So did the first game.
Yeah.
Like, there's technically 2 bosses in this one, but the first one I don't really count. But you know, it's puzzly. There's a lot of exploration. It was just fun. It's just a fun game in general. I don't know if I'm going to jump on Heist or Quest because they're both different styles of games.
Totally different.
So I might skip those. But yeah, that was great.
It's funny. So, like, I never connected with Steamworld Dig, the original one. I think I had it on 3DS, and I think I had it on Wii U between like Humble Bundles or just purchasing them. And I never really click to that one, but Steamworld Dig 2 came out and everyone was like, oh, I like this one better. So I was like, all right, let's give it a shot. And I actually really enjoyed it when I didn't like the first one at all. So
Okay.
I'm with you there. And I've never pulled the trigger on Heist or Quest. Actually, Quest seems to interest me probably the least out of all these games that they've announced. I'm kind of like, I don't need that type of game again, I guess.
Yeah.
Heist has always kind of been interesting, but I haven't pulled the trigger on that one either.
Yeah, it seems it's definitely more unique of a game than basically like Quest is like what Darkest Dungeons like theme. Well, speaking of Humble Bundle, this month's Humble Bundle, June, started off with Black Ops 4 on the PC. So I jumped into that because, well, I have it on Xbox, so I thought I'd give it a shot on PC, see what it was like. They ended up upgrading it to be the full game. Originally, it was just going to be the basic like battle mode version of the game, but for $12, I got the whole game plus 9 more games I'm going to get this Friday.
It's pretty awesome.
So I just jumped into like the zombie tutorial just to see how it runs on my PC. And I never did the zombies portion on the Xbox. So it was, nothing to report, just that it runs fine on the PC. So I just have to get used to mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
And speaking of having to get used to mouse and keyboard and PC, I also jumped back into Destiny 2 just to try to like, I literally got it on PC and didn't even complete the intro. So I just jumped in just to finish the intro. Now that I have a new graphics card in my PC, just to see how it runs, and that as well runs pretty well. So both games I'd be happy to play with other people, but I don't necessarily see myself saying I'm going to go into the other room, turn on my computer, boot it up, and then play one of these games by myself. So I don't know if that's going to happen.
I'm sure Dev will be happy to play with you, Destiny at least. So
yeah, for sure. I know, and Lucas has it. So I know there's a few PC guys who would play it. And then Rage 2, I talked about it on Board with Video Games. I know Donnie has talked about this, but I finished Rage 2 early last week, and I kind of got into Endgame not realizing that was what I was doing.
Okay.
Typically in games like this, like I do all the side stuff, but while I think the gameplay is awesome, the story itself is not awesome. Yeah. So I didn't really feel the need to pay attention to the missions I was doing, which is why I ended up doing the Endgame mission
right
inadvertently. But yeah, everything I did in the game, gameplay wise, I really enjoyed. Everything is fluid. The combat, the gun game is excellent. Everything feels the way it's supposed to feel. I'm not one of those people who claim to know the difference between 30 and 60 frames per second.
Right.
I'm not like when I play on PC, like I can see the frame counter in my top right hand corner, and that would be the only way I could tell the difference. Unless the game's like legitimately slowing down to 5 frames, like so. I guess the 60 frames was nice. The game was like remarkably dark for me, so I found myself having a lot of issues with. And it might be the HDR on my TV, but there was no like brightness setting in the game menu, so I wasn't gonna go and change the brightness on my TV just to turn it back down after But overall, yeah, I enjoyed Rage 2 for what it is. I might go back and do the side stuff, and find all the arcs and stuff like that, but I don't feel it necessarily calling to me at this moment.
I think it's basically, for anybody that hasn't played it yet, this would be an amazing like Black Friday pickup. I think if you can get it for like $30, it's like a great game, tons of fun. Yeah,
for sure, absolutely. And yeah, that's all I've been playing. It's been a weird week, not too many games.
Okay, that's fair. My games are just weird because I haven't played anything new. First, I guess we'll go into Nintendo Shack had their drunk Mario Kart night last night, as we're recording this at least. So I jumped in. I was able to jump in and play that when my wife was out to dinner with some friends and her sister. Kids were in bed. It was just me and my middle child, so we hopped in and played, and luckily I had headphones on for the voice chat, so she didn't hear Caroline because that's an issue. in these events. And lots of people were screaming profanities and tweeting profanities at me, Chowfie, for me being a bit of a bully. But Brian Carroll's husband is really good too, so I'm not going to take anything away from him. And Lombax Whisperer was also really good. So there's a good turnout there. It was a lot of fun. I played for, I think, like an hour and a half before I jumped out. And then, let other people win for once. So it was fun. So if you haven't jumped into those, keep an eye out for when Nintendo Shack does it, because they are a lot of fun. Whether you're in the voice chat or not, it's just kind of fun to hop in and play, Mario Kart or something that you haven't played in a while. Like I hadn't touched it since the last time they did a Mario Kart Night, so it was cool to jump back in and play.
Nice.
Other than that, Call of Duty, man. So that trailer came out this past week.
Yeah.
Looks really, really good. And I'm not a Call of Duty person by any means. Like I was big into them like the GameCube days, and then I stopped. Like I would sometimes play it on PS3. I haven't played any on PS4. When this announcement dropped, and I was really interested. Like, all right, this seems really cool. And Donnie jumped on it right away, pre-ordered it. So we're game share partners, so I have it. But then I remembered I have Call of Duty Infinite Warfare that I picked up at Five Below. For $5, and I never even opened it. So it's like, well, now's the time to try this out and see what Call of Duty is all about. Other than Blackout mode, I did play that when they did the free weekends. And I don't want to take anything away from it at all, because, like I said, I'm not the Call of Duty person by any means. And I will just say, Infinite Warfare, I'm having fun with it. I don't mind the sci-fi atmosphere. I can totally understand why some people would say it's not really a Call of Duty type game, because there's nothing traditional military or weapon wise about it at all. And that's fine. It is what it is. But for me, it actually played more like playing Resistance. If you remember that on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like I loved those games, and I felt this was like playing Resistance. I was like, all right, cool. And then Donnie was like, you got to try out the zombie mode. And I thought the zombie mode was always part of the season pass for things. Like I never thought it was included with the game.
Yeah.
But in this one, at least it was. So I was like, all right, well, let me boot this thing up, and it says Zombies in Spaceland. And have you played it?
I did, but it was a while ago, so I don't remember too much about it.
Okay, so it's a lot of fun. Like it's done like a retro sci-fi horror type thing. You're at a broken down amusement park, and you have to like
Kevin Smith one.
Yeah, he's in one of them.
Okay,
He's not in that first episode. There's other maps you can download, which I need to see if I need to pay for those or not. Like they told me they were locked, so I only played the first map, which is Zombies in Spaceland. Kevin Smith is something in the woods or something.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's really fun. Like the unique characters they give you, they're all voice acted in different like tropes. Like there was the hip hop, 80s hip hop rapper guy. You have the jock wearing like the Letterman jacket. You have the cheerleader girl, and you had like the sci-fi nerd. And I just had a lot of fun playing that. So I think I'm going to be digging into Call of Duty Zombies on Infinite Warfare for a while, because I'm having fun.
Nice.
And then the last thing, I don't know why, but I decided to boot up Apex Legends again. I haven't done that since super early in the season pass. And I don't know if I want to echo what Seth was saying on PSXP. I don't know if it's the caliber of people have gotten, like the good players have moved on to something else, or I've just gotten better. But I got not only my first win today, I got my first 3 wins today.
Oh.
So I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it's just the game is finally clicking for me. I'm figuring out the abilities, and I don't know, but I'm having a lot of fun with it again, which is weird. And I'm playing with randoms, not with anybody I know. So that's not contributing to the fun factor for me. It's just jumped into matches and played, and some went really well and some went really bad because you have people do stupid things for whatever reason. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. So I think I'll be playing that at least on PS4 every now and then for sure as well. So
cool.
But yeah. So fun with old games week for me before we get into all the E3 stuff and all the non-old stuff for the rest of the year probably.
Did you get Infinite Warfare on PS4 or Xbox?
Xbox.
Okay. I might pick it up if I can find it. Maybe I'll play with you.
Yeah, they didn't have it. They didn't have it on PS4, and I think I might have still picked up on Xbox anyway. But when they had it, they only had Xbox, and I was like, $5? Okay, I'll play through the story mode only for $5. And then I found out Zombies is there too, so that's an added bonus for me.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
And that's all right. So that's all we got for what we've been playing. So we actually have questions this week, which is going to be probably the largest chunk of the show. So it's time to check the messages.
Message for you, sir.
First one in this kind of all E3 prediction questions related here. Sarah asks, are we excited for the leaked, in air quotes, Ubisoft All Access subscription? Do you think it might include post-launch DLC and expansions, an EA Access Pass that unlocks everything like Assassin's Creed or Just Dance would be really appealing for most people. I hope this is a thing, honestly, because I really do enjoy, especially these last couple of years, almost everything Ubisoft puts out, and it would save me money because I'm typically buying stuff early on. I would love for it to include DLC, but I don't know if that's practical. I think that's kind of the model for these subscriptions, with like Game Pass. You don't get the DLC. EA, I don't believe you get the DLC either in theirs.
Right.
So that's their way of still making some money back on these investments here. And, EA Access Game Pass. Well, Game Pass is with first party games day and date, but everything else isn't day and date. And I don't know that Ubisoft would be doing the same thing. But if they were to do it, like you only add the games to the library when the Game of the Year edition comes out or something, that'd be really cool. So I guess to answer, yes, I am excited if it's a reality, but I do want to know more details to find out exactly what it is. If it's only going to be, $20. What's EA Access? Is that $20 a year? $30 a year?
30 a year.
So $30 a year for Ubisoft to play back catalog games with no DLC. I'd be totally down for that. If they want to charge me more and I get DLC, down for that. And if they want to give me day and date like Game Pass does, totally down with that too. But I kind of want to know the details before jumping in, because 30 for older content only might be a little less anxious to jump on that, because I've played, I think, most of the stuff I'd want to play. But yeah, definitely something cool and exciting. And I think we're just really getting into this model like our TVs, just everybody's going to have a subscription. So
yeah, it's funny because when they announced it, I wasn't excited, but only because I pretty much buy every Ubisoft game. So it doesn't have the same appeal to me that the EA Access has, which is a good thing for Ubisoft. Like it says a lot more about Ubisoft than it does about EA.
Absolutely.
So, but like when I think about it, like, yeah, it makes sense, because there's a lot of people that, aren't us that play every game. So this is nice to have. It definitely won't have DLC or expansions, because that's how they need to make their money.
Yeah.
Same with EA. They will never include anything that you would have to pay extra to play. I will say this though, every once in a while EA drops a Battlefield 1 expansion for free or a Battlefield 4 expansion for free.
Okay.
If you grab it at the right time. It's not exclusive to EA Access. But every once in a while, there will be something on EA Access that you can grab for those games, but I've only seen it for Battlefield.
Do you get a discount on any of the DLC if you're a member to EA Access?
Yeah, you get a discount of 5 or 10%. I don't remember what it is. And that's on everything, not just DLC, full games too.
Okay.
I think it might be 10%.
That's not so bad, I guess.
It's better than nothing. I mean, you're already paying them for a service. They don't have to offer us anything.
That's true, and it is cheap too. So it's not
basically
like
covers sales tax wherever you are. Like, if this is one way to look at it. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm excited to see what they announce and what their back catalog looks like that I might not be thinking of. So I wouldn't say that it's out of the question for me to subscribe to, but right now I personally wouldn't have a reason to subscribe, because I have pretty much all the Ubisoft games that I wanted to play.
Right. So, side question, because I know where I stand on this. If this is real,
yes,
is it going to be every platform, or is this Xbox, PS4?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know what they'll do. They have Ubisoft has a launcher on PC, so they could do the Origin route and charge more for the PC.
That's true.
I doubt that they would do that. I would imagine the smart thing would be for them to launch it PC, PS4, and Xbox.
But no Switch. You're pretty confident in that too?
I don't know that there's an infrastructure for them to do that.
Right.
For the Switch. Like, I don't think they. I mean, it stinks because they have some good Nintendo games,
and they have the best relationship with Nintendo.
Out.
But you're right, that infrastructure and Nintendo's willingness to kind of do stuff online.
Yeah,
I don't see them, even though they have that good partnership, unless Ubisoft is like, listen, Nintendo, we will do all the work for you. We're just going to give you this, install it, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to see a console and PC option, at least console for sure. And then I think the option for PC is a valid one, I think, for what they do.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Sarah, for the question. Moving on to our second question from Dan. With E3 upon us, what is the one thing you'd like to let us know before all the news and headlines drop? For me, temper your expectations. I think we're realizing that we're on the cusp of new consoles, and this is typically when games wise things slow down. Now, yes, there will no doubt be probably, a handful of stuff that's really exciting that will be dropping on this console generation. We know we're getting like Gears. We know, we're pretty confident, Last of Us 2 is coming and Death Stranding is coming, all this kind of stuff. So there are definitely games that will be out there, but we kind of already know them. So I think we'll get a couple surprises maybe we weren't expecting, but they'll carry over into next gen anyway. But I think everyone kind of needs to lower the bar a little bit. Just a little bit, I think, for the most part, except I'm going to throw it out here, except in the case of Nintendo. Nintendo has the advantage here simply because we don't know everything they're working on. They already told us already that there was stuff coming out this year that hasn't been announced yet. So they have a couple surprises up their sleeves. The big games of this year they have coming, they've barely shown anything. We haven't seen anything from Animal Crossing. We haven't seen anything from Luigi's Mansion. We've seen a little bit from Fire Emblem, but not much. And, so it's kind of weird realizing that, they have a lot to show. Zelda, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remasters coming out, and there's a lot of rumors of what else is coming up, but I think they may drop a few bombs on us here, and I think Microsoft talking about, 12 games they said that they're going to be announcing? 14. I think some are going to be ones we already know about.
Yeah.
And they're just going to show again, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, like I said, we got to temper those expectations because yes, they're working on the next console, guys. I don't think there's going to be 14 brand new games we haven't heard that's going to be out on the Xbox One. That's going to be announced at E3. I think we need to come to that realization real quick. But
so mine's along the same lines as you. I was going to say, don't believe the hype, but that's pretty much what you said in a nutshell. I would say, I don't think that I need to let you know this, but as a listener, if we can go into this E3 not trying to pick a winner during this E3, which is what we talked about it like to a fever pitch last year after E3. If you just go into this excited about games, imagine how much more you would enjoy E3.
Absolutely.
Than like the people who are upset that Sony's not there and they think like, why even bother? Like, just go watch E3 and get excited for the games. Like, watch a presentation or just go on YouTube and watch the trailers afterwards. But like, if you can't be excited for yourself, be excited for someone else. Like, let that empathy gland grow a little bit and have some fun. And just check out these announcements. Like, it's huge. We're going to have some huge announcements. We're going to have some letdowns for sure. Just go in with an open mind and just be excited that we're in a industry that still gets to do this.
Right. Like, exactly. If you're not a Nintendo fan or you don't have a Nintendo Switch, still watch Nintendo and be jealous that you can't play some of the stuff. And same thing for Xbox. If you're a Sony fanboy and you got Sony and Switch and Microsoft's announced like these 5 of these awesome games, it's okay to be jealous. Like, don't be mad that your team, in air quotes, didn't win. Just be happy about what's being celebrated, what's being shown there, because it's good for everybody. And we're in this weird stage we talk about with subscriptions and streaming and online and offline and Stadia coming in. All this stuff is going on. This is an exciting time. And the industry is changing, and there's this massive pivot to this digital, revolution for gaming, which is weird to say because everything gaming is digital anyway, but you know what I mean? That all this stuff is changing. So our eyes, if you're a gaming fan, should be focused on this stuff. Find out what's going on, digest that information. And, like you said, don't believe the hype. Don't buy into these rumors and stuff like that. This week, and part of this past week and this upcoming week is some of my least favorites because people start making these crazy predictions and then they get upset after E3 that this stuff didn't happen. It's like, well, just be happy with what you get. I don't want to feed into that. I don't want to jump in and be like, oh my God, every single thing that's, whispered about, I'm going to, go off the reservation. Like Donnie posted, what was it? The SKU list.
Yeah.
Of like unannounced game 1, announced game 2. It was like, we went through this last year. Yes, you could be excited. You could speculate. What might these be? They're looking at prices, trying to figure out what Nintendo is going to be selling. That's going to be a $200 SKU. Okay, that's fine. But remember, last year we had 35 Switch SKUs, most of which never came to fruition. Yeah. So you can't believe it. Companies add SKUs and they put placeholders in, but it's not always necessarily because they know what it is. It's because they know things are going to be announced. So they just put a whole bunch on and make adjustments after because they're all trying to be that first retailer available for pre-orders the second something's announced. That's all that is, guys. It's not necessarily, in concrete, solid stone, look at how many times Walmart has spoiled something, or Best Buy has spoiled something, or Amazon posts something ahead of time. Like, I think the gaming industry is starting to pull away from letting these people know.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with you. So, thank you, Dan. Third question comes in from Boss Man Don. This one I thought was funny. What's the one thing we'd scream like Caroline if it was shown / unveiled at this year's E3 events? I'll let you go first this time, Josh.
There's nothing that could make me scream like Caro, or I don't know that I can ever reach that level of excitement about anything. I could say Horizon Zero Dawn 2 would like shock me. I know that it's probably a next gen title, but I would be like very excited. But I guess if it was the closest you could get me to scream like Caroline is if we saw a return of Commander Shepard and an OG Mass Effect sequel. That'd
be awesome.
Get me to that level, but we'll never see that again because EA gave up on BioWare, who gave up on Mass Effect.
That's fair. I'd say I don't know if I'd scream at the same volume as Caroline, but I know Nintendo is showcasing because I'm a huge Animal Crossing fan, so I'll be excited to see what that is. I'm not going to scream like her in that, but I'm excited. Luigi's Mansion, same thing. Huge Luigi's Mansion fan. I like those games better than the Mario games, so I'm excited for that. But I think two things would possibly get me to squeal like a little schoolgirl. One is depending on what we see from the Avengers project. Depending on what that is, that could be really exciting, or it could be kind of like, I don't know, And the second thing, which totally is not going to happen, but this would be the closest thing to get me to scream, is Mother 3 is announced for Switch, and I can finally get to play it, which is, I've said that the last 3 or 4 years, I think, for E3 stuff. So not expecting it to happen at all, but that would get me probably the most likely to scream and jump around, or Pikmin, because then my wife can stop hating me. And that's in any iteration. They can do a remaster collection, whatever, just give me something. So yeah. But all right, thank you, Donnie. Last question comes from Jeremy, number 4. Do you think we'll be talking about next gen hardware next year? Josh.
I mean, we'll be talking about next gen hardware next week, but if he's asking, will it be coming out next year? Yeah, I mean, we'll see both big boys put out a console next year. Do I think it's a year too early? Yeah, but we don't have a choice anymore, so
it's true.
It's going to happen. But we'll be talking about it a week from today. Now,
right?
Like, we'll already know what Xbox has in stock for us.
That's true. That's crazy. We know Xbox is showing stuff. Not sure how much they're going to show us. Are they going to do like the whole shebang and say pre-orders are up? Like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
Or if they're just going to do that first tease like they did with Scorpio, where they kind of gave us some details but didn't pull the whole curtain back yet.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards they're going to do that.
Only because if like an Inside Xbox later or something.
Exactly. And if they really have 15 games to talk about, yes, I know they have 2 hours or 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah. But still, if they're going to talk about that can't be that, like, in my mind, like, at worst case scenario, I don't even want to talk about it for this long. It'll be like half an hour. And I don't want to talk about it for that long, because that's still 15 announcements in an hour and a half. On top of, things we already know about that they're going to talk about. Game Pass, like, that's not a game announcement, that's Game Pass. They're going to talk Game Pass. They're going to talk, these other things, right? Yeah. The PC, the streaming Game Pass to PC. They're going to talk about that. Like, so I really don't think they'll go full on hardware. We know Sony's going to talk about something. I imagine in the fall is my prediction. I think is when they're going to kind of talk about something. And Nintendo hardware too. We keep hearing these rumors about the updated Switches, whether they're going to be smaller and more portable or more powerful or both. We don't really know, but Nintendo said no hardware announcements at E3. But as I pointed out to Donnie, they said at E3. Doesn't mean the next Nintendo Direct or Nintendo Direct in the fall isn't going to announce these. Like, all they said was they weren't going to show it at E3. They didn't say no new hardware is coming out this year. They could still drop a SKU, with Pokemon to come up with a cheaper, portable Switch to get little kids playing Pokemon, because Pokemon is not going to be on the 3DS. Like, the 3DS, I think, with the official exclusion of Pokemon, I think we can finally say the 3DS is done. Like, it's dead. It's gone.
Yeah.
So Nintendo needs to start capitalizing, not that they haven't already, but on that market of kids who played on 3DS to now get a Switch. And the best way to do it is make it a little bit cheaper, so mom and dad can buy it, or mom and dad can buy multiple if there's multiple kids in the house. So I think we could still see a hardware release from Nintendo this year. or next year, early next year, I would say would be the latest. But yeah, we're definitely talking next gen hardware. We're already here. It's just how much we're going to talk about this year versus how much we're going to be ranting about it later this year and next year. All right, so that wraps up the mailbag. As always, you can email us your questions at placeandvideogames@gmail.com or tweet at us at PSVG, or you can slide into my DMs at PSVGKevin, and we'll be happy to answer those when we can. And lastly, kind of to wrap up this shorter version of the show, we're going to dive into the news of the week.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite news outlet on the Citadel.
And first up, because it's that time of the month, not that time of the month, but time of the month they announce them, the PS Plus games for this month, as well as games with gold. So first up, PlayStation Plus is giving us Sonic Mania and Borderlands the Handsome Jack collection, which is pretty awesome that they dropped that stuff. Like, it's a pretty good month here. I have not pulled the trigger on Sonic Mania because I'm not the hugest Sonic the Hedgehog fan, but I will definitely play this because it's the retro ones. Like, it's inspired by that. So I'm totally down for that. And Handsome Jack collection I already have, which I'm totally fine with, but I think that's a great get for anybody who hasn't played them, and a smart move on Gearbox's behalf to get this game in people's hands as they're going to talk about Borderlands 3 at E3 and just kind of, pump that engine, prime that engine for one of the biggest games I think that's going to come out this year. And I believe they confirm, or is it still a rumor that they're going to release DLC that's going to bridge the story?
Oh, I didn't hear anything about that.
Okay,
but I wouldn't doubt that they would do something like that.
Yeah, from what I heard, there was going to be a Borderlands 2 DLC that would bridge the story between 2 and 3. But I don't know if that's true or not. But I'm sure we'll find out at E3 or so. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited for those people. You have any interest in Sonic Mania, or have you already played it?
I have it on the Switch. And I'm not the biggest Sonic fan either. I think I think of myself as a big Sonic fan until I start playing Sonic, and then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Like back in the day of Pass and Play, it's a lot easier to get hours into a game because you're not just constantly dying. And Sonic Mania is fun, and it's just like the old Sonics. I would argue it's a hard game though.
Yeah, well, I mean, the old ones were hard too. Sometimes, like going back to those, I've been like, man, these are a lot harder than I remember them being.
Yeah, but I'm thrilled. Like, it's a great month for the PlayStation Plus because Sonic Mania is arguably a good game and a great free game. Yeah. And Tales from the Borderlands, I'm just excited more people will give it a shot, even if it's not necessarily a game for them. Now they essentially get to try it for free. So I hope more people get converted.
Agreed. And not to be outdone, Xbox Games with Gold was also announced for June. Includes EA Sports NHL 19 on Xbox One, as well as Rivals of Ether for the Xbox One, and then the Xbox 360 backwards compatible titles, of course, are Portal Still Alive and Earth Defense Force 2017. I know Earth Defense Force. Did you play that? Was that one of the ones you were playing on PC before?
Yeah, we got it on Humble Bundle, so Lucas and I played that crazy bonkers game. So that's an interesting one. I'm really excited for people to play Portal that might not have played it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm excited about Borderlands people playing that. So I hope people give it a shot because Portal is a game that will always hold up graphically. It's a clean looking game, but the puzzle aspect to that game is flawless, and there's great humor. It's such a fun game. Rivals of Aether is like Smash Bros. Light.
Okay.
Pretty fun. It has different kind of characters, like more like beastie creatures, similar to what's that other game that's on the Switch?
Oh, geez,
Brawl Out. It's also
Brawl Out. That's right.
Style to that, but it's a more zoomed out version. So I'd say that's worth playing for free. And I mean, I'm glad to see them bring NHL 19.
Me too.
I've had it on EA Access, but now I know that I can just add it and install it and then uninstall it if I don't want to keep it to know I'll always have it as long as I have an Xbox Live subscription. So, and there's some really fun game modes in that I would love to play. There's like 3-on-3. I played with Coach. The cool part about the 3-on-3 is you, not just the 3-on-3, even 6-on-6. When you play the game, you pick your position and that's what you play the whole game. So If you
is
commit
it switching?
and you get put in a box, you sit in the box.
Dude,
for
that's
the
awesome.
penalty. Yeah. So it's really cool. A lot of people, I think 18 started like the new features. There's a couple of rough years for NHL where they kind of lost fans over the control change from like the classic like hockey we know, like NHL 90.
Oh, is this one where you gotta like flick the stick or whatever?
Yeah, but you can now change the modes to be
Okay.
hybrids or
Okay.
just purely old school or the new school.
Good. Okay.
So yeah, I'm excited for more people to play that too, and that's a pretty big get. I know it's a sports game, but still, that's a pretty big get for Xbox Live Gold. About a few months before they announce maybe a new NHL.
Absolutely, and I will say, and this will make Coach Mo smile just a little bit. I am extremely excited for this. Like, I cannot wait, because for me, I don't buy sports games, and hockey is probably the most played sports game I've ever played.
Yeah.
Other than like NBA, not Playgrounds. What was the other one? NBA Street. I used to play those all the time.
Yeah.
But I love NHL games, and I just haven't played one in a long, long time. And now it's coming for free. I'm actually legit excited for this. And a lot of people are like, "It's lame." I'm like, no, I am most excited out of all the games being offered this month. I am most excited for this one. So I will definitely be downloading it. I will definitely be playing with you guys.
Pulling levers, pushing buttons.
We have a rare appearance. See, open mic night.
Where am I? Hello?
You lost your sleeves in the transition.
Oh.
We were actually, this actually is perfect timing, Donnie. So Donnie jumped in, for those of you saying, we told you it was going to be an open mic. We just wrapped up the news. So the rest of the show actually is talking about PSVG's crazy plans for E3 and everything that we do and all the amazing stuff there. So yeah, anything you want to say then as we get ready to jump into that portion as far as what we plan on doing all next week?
I hope the team streams with me. It really feels like it's going to be the Donnie and Caro show. And we might have Dev for like an hour, and Josh might join us for an hour. But where we once had multiple teams and co-streams going on at the same time. Oh, the glory days of PSVG. Attendance and will and want to have fallen off a cliff over the years. And everybody wants to pod, which is fine. That's what we do. That's what we do well. But I like the live reaction stuff too. I mean, I like doing both. It's not so much catching Caroline screaming or, commentary. It's really just about having a place for our listeners to go hang out with other people, so they're not subjected to like the kind of funnies of the world where the chat stream is just a waterfall of comments that you can't even follow. It just keeps going. PSVG can be a place where you can actually hang out and say things and have people respond to you and actually watch the show with friends, which is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun when it's done well. So yeah, I look forward to that. I think we're going to be streaming the majority of the big shows. It
looks like it.
The big shows, everybody knows, like those are important. It's the smaller ones, like the Kind of Funny Showcase, the VR one. I might be on my own for those. I don't think many people would care. And then, we'll do a bunch of podcasts that week and they'll all come out and you can hear it. And I'm sure we'll keep talking about E3 for many weeks to come. So it's not a that week thing, So did we ever come to any conclusion on how we're going to do the rotation that week? Are we still doing like Board of Video Games and XP, or are we doing the topical shows?
Well, so Board of VG is still doing their thing.
Okay.
And they're not going to cover, they're going to cover their favorite moments, I think is what Kyle told me there. The other shows, PSXP will not be out in its traditional format, but me and Seth will be doing in its place, presenting the Square Enix recap and kind of talking through that. So we're going to handle that one together. But yeah, as Donnie mentioned, we're hoping to stream a majority of these or live react to these, starting actually with Bethesda, which actually I'll be doing. So Donnie's saying, "Oh, it's Donnie." Me, Lucas, and Kyle will all be live reacting to that one, and then recording a podcast immediately after.
Hey, I gotta light the flame. I gotta put the pressure on. Right?
Well,
anything to initiate the challenge. I'll be the heel.
That's true.
All right, I'll be Mr. McMahon. Let's do this thing. I'm okay with that. But yeah, so what I wanted to say was for the podcast that maybe get out of rotation are like, Shaq, we're going to record right away. You guys know how the Shaq gets do. So we're going to do live reactions, and then we're going to stream all day, and then we're going to do podcast reactions right after the stream goes off air. Yeah, and we may double up. We may have another show. I don't know. It depends on how much there is to talk about. But what I wanted to say was, if the shows take the week off, if the normal rotation gets upset, it'll be fine, because the very next week they'll be back and they'll still talk all about E3.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you're going to get everybody, even if folks like, if I'm not on the Bethesda show, you're going to get my thoughts on Bethesda eventually. Like eventually we're going to work that in there somewhere. And yeah, man, the rumors, the Google Stadia thing might be Thursday. I'm excited. I'm trying to get Devin and Jared like, hey, we got to record Thursday. They're like, I can't. I'm like, Friday. They're like, what are you talking about? Friday morning? No, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday at midnight. Like, we got to go.
Let's do it now. But yeah, the good thing is, like, so we're gonna try and stream as much as we can over at twitch.tv/PSVG. But we're gonna podcast for everything. And the good thing is we've kind of been able to get, I think, everybody locked in for at least one podcast. So you're gonna hear all the voices, which is good. And yeah, the rotation will be off a little bit. Like, you're not going to have PSVG Prime and its normal thing. We'll release the Bethesda show instead, kind of deal. So you're still going to get a ton of content, probably more than you listeners want, but that's what we do here at E3. We get excited and we overreact to things. So that's fine.
Yeah. That's the joy of E3, man.
And we talked about that earlier. Josh and I both iterated that it is very important for people to celebrate, be happy. Don't have it be a who won. It's, you celebrate what's being announced, and you're excited for your friends that are excited about what is being shown, even if you're not.
That's what I just tweeted this yesterday. I was like, look, I want all of it. I want the predictions. I want the leaks. I want the wild expectations. I want the fantasies. I want the dreams, but I want it all in a way that you don't set yourself up for unrealistic expectations to get down, man. It's video games, right? Video games going to video game. Like, it's crazy things. We shoot stuff. We go into space. It's dumb, right? So sit back and just enjoy the ride and enjoy the show and have fun being a fan. And, maybe, don't try to be so much of like an analyst or a news reporter. You're these, hot takes. Let me give you the news. Who cares? Find a game that you really like and watch them present it, and then watch them live stream it and go read hands-on impressions. That's one of the things that I'm going to miss from Sony on the show floor.
Oh yeah.
The show floor stuff I really enjoy. I watch that stuff for weeks because I'll see a game during the show and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And then I'll watch 10 people play that game. I'll watch 10 different people. I want all the opinions that they have. Like, tell me, how was it? How did it play? And I know, especially for like VR, that's really important to me right now. I want to hear people that played it. I'm showing it to me on
trailers. Don't do anything. Yeah.
I want to hear from somebody who's like, I played this game and here's what you need to know. That's really important for me. So I'll be looking forward to all of that stuff too. And yeah, man, this is if you guys can't tell, it's my favorite time of the year. It's Donnie's Christmas, man. I live for this. I really do. This is the time where my manicness is, 1, beneficial, and 2, is like allowed. It's accepted.
Yeah.
So I can just
totally.
run free.
Totally. And I think I said at the top of the show too, I feel a little regret that I didn't take time off this year. But work is just way too busy. But I think Tuesdays are my normal work from home day. So Nintendo Showcase, I'll be watching live. And I may try and be like, I'm a little sick, guys. I'm gonna work from home on Monday and also watch Mondays if I can. I won't be able to live stream any of that because I'm working. But I will be able to absorb it. I think that's my plan for next week.
Man, guys, it's gonna be so much fun.
It is.
I love it. I can't wait to hear the rest of the show.
Yeah, you came at the tail end of it. So we do have one last order of business to do here, and that is the giveaway, as we mentioned at the top of the show. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I got all the names in the name picker 3000 borrowed from Flex the Pose. Donnie, give me a number for how many spins in this bad boy.
Number. I'm sorry, I was typing. Number between what?
Just a number.
Anything? Any number?
69.
69.
A number between 1 and 10.
11.
You're muted. I think you said 7.
He said 11.
Fine, 11. Now, Josh, give me a number, and I'm going to subtract that from 11. That's the number of spins we're going to do.
Josh, you know what number to say. Oh,
10. Oh.
Josh!
Here we go. Spin it now. Going through. And Mr. Paul Calico is our winner for this month's giveaway. So, Paul, as we said at the top of the show, you have your choice of the lovely, ever so fashionable that you'll see on stream all next week, PSVG Polo. You can choose the $20 in Apex Legends credit or a $20 eShop card of your choosing. So just let us know. You can let us know in the Battle Pass chat room and Discord, or just reach out to Donnie or myself, and we'll get things straightened out for you. So congratulations to Paul. And a reminder to everybody else, if you want to jump in, we do a giveaway every single month. Patreon.com/PSVG. So before we sign off, fellas, Josh, where can people find you and everything else you're up to?
Oh, just on that bored with video games show. It's actually pretty funny that I found out there's a show. Do you know Smosh, the channel Smosh?
Yeah.
They do a show called Bored AF. I thought that was pretty funny. And it's them playing board games.
They spelled board wrong?
No, they spelled it correctly. So I'm on the show. It's called Bored with Video Games. We do a little bit of both. I do this thing with Kyle. We talk about board games and a lot of video games recently. So
it's that time of year. It's okay.
We're gonna stop that next week.
E3 is gonna be 7 hours long? It's like a chapter thing. They do their own every show. They do their own show every show for weeks.
I don't want to say it'll be short, because when we did OT and Coach said we were going to go 91 minutes, we went 120 minutes.
You did.
So I don't want to say we're going to go short, but no, we're gonna let PSVG handle the video game aspect. We're just going to cover some of our favorite things we saw, but we'll be doing mostly
man. Have fun. Who
stuff.
Cares? It's fun. It's fun to make jokes. That week's going to be 3 hours long.
I already said that. All right. Well, dude, so Donnie kind of convinced me to go on, because he's like, hey, I got Caro and Jared's going to be on it.
Jared's going to come, yep.
And I was like, oh, man. I was like, this is the one year I think I should be on, because I know they're all Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, like some of my favorite stuff. And he's like, come on. I was like, dude, I don't know if we could take a 4-hour show if we start talking. I was like,
strap in.
Yeah. Donnie, where can people find you if they don't know already at this point?
Everywhere in the digital world at Play Nintendo. I have a unified name, and it feels so right. So Play Nintendo ain't no G in Play Nintendo.
And you're going to hear a lot of our voices next week, because I think every single show has at least one of us, other than Board with VG, on it for recaps of E3 stuff. So buckle in, everybody. We hope you enjoy. And if not, just download the episodes for us and delete them if you don't want to hear it. But give us those downloads anyway. We appreciate it. Thanks, guys. We love you. But most importantly, as always, we ask that you never stop gaming.